All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So, as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, please forgive my tardiness. I had 1,000 things going on at once. Okay, so we're about to get this party started. Everyone, please like, share, subscribe, double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the Queen's channel, especially if you have not been receiving those notifications. Okay. And with that all being said, let's get ready to get black into it. Lights up.
It's the one and only Queen of Receipts, dropping gems in these YouTube streets. The lawyer Royce, nowhere to go. Tune in for the infamous morning show, giving the news that you need to know. So don't you dare miss a wake-up call. Then in the evening, I got all for y'all. Get your dose of daily vitamins. You know the Queen makes it make sense. So true.
Your arms already around the NOLAN'S family. Wrap your arms around his parents, but I want you to go and hold his mother. Hold her tight right now. Hold the whole family, Lord. Cause Mississippi, what? Do what you doing. Y'all trying to get this lady fired. Disbarred while that family lost a child. Oh, come through, Most High God. Mississippi, how you investigate Nolan family, but not the damn case? Oh, you exposed. And right now, leave that family alone. Leave them be. They can't even grieve. Hold up. Y'all demons need to sit your ass down. My God, these demons just won't stop. But the Most High God gon' stop it. Stop it right now. Wrap your arms around his parents, but I want you to go and hold his mother. Leave him alone, Lord. Let them grieve in peace. I'm so sorry. NOLAN'S family, keep your head up. We here. Most High God, wrap your arms and don't let go.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in. So let's get ready to get black into it. All right. And shout out to Truth Brown for that lovely selection. Okay. Let's see who's in here. Anita Harrell, Edward, 504 Nola. All right, let's get into it. Pretty Wings, Deronda. Okay, Pearly. Terry Hinton, 27 Dee Dee is here. Okay, Trice is here. Or Tricey. All right, Glenn. Betty Boop is in the house. Let's get it poppin', Precious. All right, Anita Harrell, Chris B. All right, Dangerous is here. Shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they put in work. I see you, Priscilla, Beverly, all right, Notorious B.I.G., T.A. Queen of Phoenix, all right, Mr. Hot Shot, Scorpion Girl, all right, let's get it popping. Buckhorse DC, Mr. Elevation. Okay, so now with that all being said, hey, Gregory, Reggie, Ladybug is here. Okay, so hey, Irma, Enigmatic is in the house. Vada. Okay, so I'm going to have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes, and then we're going to drop these nefarious receipts.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. And also don't forget that you can find her products on Walmart.com and that she sells beard oil, and her products are absolutely amazing. Okay, so that all been said, Asa Katano is here. All right, Bronze Black Power God, let's get it popping. Okay, D Major. All right, the fourth day, Emperor Rex. You all know what time it is, right? Y'all know what time it is? Okay, it is the anniversary of the nefarious Montgomery Brawl. Okay? So, with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. We're going to have to do a little tribute for the Montgomery Brawl before we leave out of here. I see you, Regina. Okay, so it's a lot of things to talk about, beloveds. Okay, let's get ready to get into it. Now, first things first, I find it very interesting that they have arrested a third person for giving out threats. Okay, for issuing out threats. But mind you, they have not arrested anyone for anything being done to Nolan, any sort of tampering with evidence, any sort of obstruction with justice, anything. Okay, are they even looking into Nolan's case? Or is this all about trying to protect the people that were last with him or that took him and went with him to Horn Island? Now, I'm not saying they did anything, but I find it interesting that they seem to be the focus, okay, of everything as it pertains to getting justice. All right? And now Nolan's poor mother is being targeted yet again with this fake, fraudulent complaint that is nothing more than a load of BS. So let's get into it because I have the legal documents and I can't wait to read them. Mind you, I have not seen them as of yet, but let's get into it. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Now, this is a report. This is a report from NBC. Third person charged with allegedly threatening witnesses and Nolan Wells investigation. So here's what they have to say. So 3 people have been charged with allegedly threatening witnesses in investigation surrounding the death of Mississippi teen Nolan Wells in 3 different instances. Now, one of the 3 defendants, Edward James Porter, is accused of making multiple threats to 2 witnesses July the 31st. And this is all according to court documents. So according to a probable cause affidavit, Porter made multiple calls to 2 witnesses threatening to delete them and their families, okay? He said that he knew where they lived and told the second witness he would cut them up into pieces and put them into a suitcase. Now, Wells was found deceased on July the 6th at the northwest tip of Mississippi's Horn Island, 2 days after he ventured to the area with a large group of friends to celebrate the July 4th holiday. His friends have told officials that they needed to leave the gathering early because their boat was taking on water, and that Wells had told them he wanted to stay behind and catch a later ride with other people. They say that's when they last saw their friend. Now, when he never returned home, Wells's mother and one of his friends reported him missing to the authorities. Now, here's the thing: who reported him missing? Was it Warren or was it Bart? Okay, because Bart's name is on the report. Now, the family's lawyer, civil rights attorney Ben Crump, has since questioned the circumstances surrounding his death, calling into question whether race was a factor, as it appeared Wells was one of the few Black people there that day. Crump also rejected notions from law enforcement officials that Wells may have drowned, citing the teenager's ability to swim well and his athletic past. Now, NBC has reached out to Crump for a comment. Officials in Mississippi have also charged Joseph Alfredo Vasquez de Mars after he allegedly sent messages on Facebook to a Jackson County Chancery Court judge July the 11th, according to a probable cause document or affidavit. Okay, so let's just get into this. The mother of one of Wells's friends who was with him the day he died, Ashley Cole, posted on Facebook about the teen's death and said that her son was cooperating with authorities. Cole since posted screenshots of Instagram and Facebook messages from Yay962 showing the same threatening messages that were included in the court documents. And a third person, Michelle Francine Edwards, was charged with making a bomb threat to the George County Chancery Clerk's office July the 23rd. Okay, so here's the thing. As I told you all, that's good. They're making arrests. Okay, if somebody has done something nefarious or making threats, and specifically talking about chopping people up into bits and pieces, no less. But the bottom line is, what are they doing about the threats being made to Nolan's family, to his parents? I just have several questions. Okay, I have several questions. Hold on, beloveds. I need to send something to my email real quick. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Now, there was a video that I saw. Maybe I already sent it to my emails. Maybe I already sent it. Oh, here it is. Okay, we're about to get into this. Okay, we're about to get into this. Now, I want to see what some of these TikTokers are saying about these threats. I want to know who's thinking like I'm thinking, because here's the thing. They want to take a probe into Nolan's mom all over false complaints. Now, they know these complaints have to be false. She hasn't been to work. Okay, I'm sure she hasn't been to work since Nolan passed. So I find it all very interesting. Hold on, I'm going to send these two TikToks. Okay. Now, with that all being said, let's see what's going on here with this document. I'm going to pull this up. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. And here's the thing that I also find interesting. His name is named, his name is Edward Porter, but at the end of the day, there is no picture of him. And don't you all find that interesting? Why is there no photo? And who are the two witnesses that he in fact threatened? So here is the criminal complaint right here, filed on July the 31st of 2026. Let me tell you all something. You all know what's interesting about this whole thing? They're making all of these arrests. Now listen to this. Listen to this now. They're making all of these arrests about these threats, right? Not made any arrest, okay, not for tampering with evidence, like I said, obstruction, any of those things. Because why were things deleted from his phone? Why are the conflicting stories and lies being told? But here's the thing. Now, didn't they say that in fact they don't make arrest until the grand jury reviews the case and decides whether or not to indict someone? Isn't that what they said? Put a 1 in the chat if you know that's what they said. Put a 1 in the chat if you know that's what they said. They said that they don't indict anyone until they don't arrest anyone until they send the paperwork or the have it reviewed before the grand jury, and they decide whether or not someone's going to be indicted. They said that's how it goes in Mississippi. Okay, basically saying you don't put the cart before the horse, that you don't arrest someone until the grand jury sees the information and decides if there should be an indictment issue. But what's interesting is that doesn't seem to be the case with these threats that are being made. People are just being arrested. And you know why that likely is? Because the real gist of the matter is, I found out from folk in Mississippi, Ocean Springs specifically, that at the end of the day, that's the last part of the process. Okay, they can absolutely arrest someone and then go to the grand jury for an indictment. Now, they just basically led us to believe, allegedly, mind you, but they just seem to have led us to believe that they cannot make an arrest in this case until the grand jury sees everything and they decide. No, they could have made arrest. Okay? They could have made arrest if they wanted to, and then still had the grand jury decide what they wanted to do about it. But anyway, let's continue. So now this is the affidavit of the criminal complaint. I, Christopher Clark, being duly sworn, state as follows. I am an agent with the Mississippi Office of Homeland Security, okay, currently assigned to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Mississippi Violent Crimes Task Force, located at 1317 26th Avenue, Gulfport, Mississippi. I'm a graduate of the Harris County Law Enforcement Training Academy and have been a sworn law enforcement officer since 2017. I have participated in numerous investigations involving narcotics and violent crimes. I am thoroughly familiar with investigative techniques used in these investigations, such as undercover agents, the use of cooperating witnesses, the analysis of toll information, search and seizure warrants, and grand jury investigations. Now, in other words, he's trying to say his credentials speak for themselves. Please pay attention. Now, during my law enforcement career, I have received training and gained experience in digital evidence collection, electronic communications investigations, search and seizure, interview and interrogation techniques, surveillance, and criminal investigations. I have participated in numerous investigations involving bomb threats, threatening communications directed at public officials and law enforcement agencies, and threats communicated through social media, email, telephone, and other electronic platforms. I have prepared and executed numerous state and federal search warrants for electronically stored information and digital evidence, including records maintained by online service providers, telecommunications providers, social media companies, and electronic communications services. Now, I have utilized subscriber information, IP address records, account activity, electronic communications, and other digital evidence to identify account holders, authenticate communications, establish attribution, and gather evidence related to federal criminal offenses involving threats of violence and intimidation. And you know, that's what they're doing to NOLAN'S mother. She's been intimidated by them even invested in launching this probe into her based off of clearly false accusations. Now, the aforementioned instances involved investigations related to violations of both Title 18 and Title 21 of the United States Code. I'm authorized by law or by a government agency to engage in or supervise the prevention, detention, investigation, or prosecution of a violation of federal criminal laws. This affidavit is based on my participation in this investigation, reports I have read related to this investigation, and conversations I've had with other law enforcement personnel. Now, based on this information, I am aware of the following facts. Let's get into it. Summary of probable cause. So on July the 31st of 2026, Edward James Porter placed telephone calls to a witness in an ongoing state investigation, hereinafter referred to as Witness 1. Now, between 6:38 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8:36 a.m. Central Standard Time. During the telephone calls to Witness 1, Porter said that he was going to come and kill Witness 1, Witness 1's family, and that Porter had Witness 1's address. Now, Porter, at approximately 6:43 a.m. Central Standard Time, sent Witness 1 a text message with Witness 1's residential address in the Southern District of Mississippi. Porter also contacted another party within the same state of Mississippi, hereinafter referred to as Witness Number 2. Porter informed Witness 2 over the telephone that Porter was going to kill Witness 2, everyone in the home, and Porter would kill any cops, and Witness 2 was to die. Now, Porter further stated to witness 2 that Porter was going to cut up witness 2 and put witness 2 in a suitcase. The aforementioned telephone calls threatening to kill witness 1 and 2 and their family originated from Porter in violation of Title 18 USC Statute 875. Now, let me tell you all something here. This is what I would like to know. This is what I would like to know. First of all, Queen, you may want to remind someone that the grand jury is secret and the prosecutors probably won't want to indict anyone being in Mississippi. Beloved, I have been saying that for days, but thank you for the insight. Yeah, I already said that for days because it's so one-sided. The defense doesn't get to say a thing. Okay, they don't get to bring forward any evidence. It's all on the prosecution. And hence, that's why I always tell you all that they can indict even a ham sandwich. It's a running joke amongst prosecutors because they know they can get anyone indicted if they want to, and also cannot get anyone or prevent anyone from being indicted if they choose not to. That's how it works. And it's so unfair if you ask me. That needs to change because what I think they just might do is I think they may just take in minimal evidence, not anything that's hard hitting or heavy, and just go in there with whatever they want and present it before the grand jury and act as though, see, there's nothing to see here, folks. Accidental drowning. What say you, grand jury? And then they'll just go along with it. That's what I think. Now, I could be wrong, but I could absolutely be right. Please pay attention. But now, with that being said, let's continue because the devils are always busy. Trust me when I say. So now it goes on to say, they're talking about cutting up people. Oh, but here's what I wanted to ask you all, or what I wanted to say. I find it interesting that 2 of these witnesses were supposedly threatened. But what witnesses are they? I mean, who are witnesses 1 and 2? Who are witnesses 1 and 2? And another thing is, they don't show a picture of this Edward James Porter. Now, the thing is, I'm just curious as to how this man, whomever he may be, how did he get the phone number? Because they say he sent text messages. So how did he get the witnesses' phone numbers and their address? And also, how did he know who the witnesses are? So do I find this all suspicious? How did this person who made the threats, Edward James Porter, how does he know who the witnesses are? Because we don't even know. We don't even know. 2 witnesses threatened. Who are the witnesses and how did he get their information, such as telephone and address? Has to be someone who knows them. And I've been telling you all that for days. Every time one of these people gets arrested for threats, and then they say they sent this to their office, they sent it here, they sent it there, how are they getting these people's information? That's what I'd like to know. And specifically, I want to know about this because who are the 2 witnesses and how would the person making the threats, Edward James Porter, how would he know that they're witnesses? I have several questions, but let's continue. So anyway, it goes on to say he sent a text message with witness 1's residential address in the Southern District of Mississippi. And at that time, witness 1 telephonically contacted another party within the state of Mississippi, hereinafter referred to as witness 2, okay, to advise witness 2 of threats. Now, on or about July the 31st of 2026, at approximately 6:35 or 6:53 a.m. Central Standard Time, Porter then at approximately 8, I think I read all that. Hold on, let me scroll down. Lost track of my place. Hold on, beloveds. Oh, yeah, he said he was going to kill them. Okay, he said he was going to kill them, and agents identified as a text-free number. That's how they found out who it was. A subsequent emergency disclosure request was submitted to Pinger in reference to what agents identified as a text-free number, okay, of 228-336-3187. Pinger provided a response to the request at approximately 9:33 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now, in the response, Pinger provided 2 IP addresses. So on or about July the 31st of 2026 at approximately 10:22 a.m. Central Standard Time, an emergency disclosure request was submitted to Comcast for the Pinger provided IP address. In response, Comcast provided the subscriber for the aforementioned IP address to be Edward Porter. Okay, and there's his information. He lives on Cermak Road, apartment 204, and Berwyn, Illinois, 60402. Now, on or about July the 31st of 2026 at approximately 10:48 a.m. Central Standard Time, an emergency disclosure request was submitted to Boost Mobile in Substantio Inc. Okay, for Boost Mobile telephone number, and then they have the number, and Substantio Inc. provided the subscriber to the aforementioned telephone number to be Edward Porter. Edward, looks like you're in big trouble, buddy. And did he think that text-free numbers, like those numbers you get offline, was not going to be able to lead back to him? Of course, they have your IP addresses. Who doesn't know that? And aren't these people even real? Is he real? Because I would like to see what he looks like. Now, on or about July the 31st of 2026, Apple Inc. returned information requested via a 2703D order pertaining to a push token provided by Pinger in the aforementioned Pinger emergency disclosure request. And Apple identified the push token associated with the Pinger account to be tied to the subscriber, Edward Porter, with a verified telephone number, okay, on an Apple iPhone 13 device. Now, agents identified that the Pinger account, which was utilized to place the aforementioned telephone calls, was created on or about July the 31st of 2026 at approximately 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Analysis of the cellular device's cell site history at the time of the Pinger account creation places the device in the area of Porter's residence at 6908 Cermak Road, Berwyn, Illinois, 60402. Now, this is all ridiculous because what was this person thinking? Okay, no wonder you got arrested. No wonder you got arrested. Make it all make sense, okay? I find it all so interesting. But as I said, I still would like to know how he got these people's information. That's what I'd like to know. Does anyone else think that's strange? Alice said, believe this is a setup to distract. Okay, Mel says, Queen, it seems like they want us to snap. They are constantly unaliving our people and nothing is getting done about it. We need to do a January 6th in Mississippi. No, we don't. I'm not going to jail. Okay, that's what I'm not going to do. Y'all can go right on ahead. I'll be sitting here waiting for the news to come out with all y'all's butts locked up, just like the January 6th rioters. And guess what? Trump's not going to pardon any of you. Okay. I'm sorry, honey. I might be a freedom fighter, but going to prison, federal prison at that. So it's not on my bucket list, honey. Okay, it's not on my bingo card for 2026 or 2027 or any other time after that. Okay. Now, if y'all want to run down on somebody and do all that, go right ahead. I promise you, I'll report on it when all of y'all get locked the hell up. Live from the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show, all of the loyal royals and then some have all been arrested for rioting. Because what you're not to do is play me off the street, honey, and nor will I play myself off. I don't have time for it. Talking about January the 6th. Ashkan said January 6th, 1776, maybe. Okay. I wouldn't have even done it then. I'd have been trying to beat Harriet Tubman getting the Underground Railroad started. Now, right? So I could be the hero in the future. Please pay attention. Okay, now let's continue because y'all need to sit down somewhere, honey. Don't even talk about we need to pull a January 26th. Okay, who, where, what, when, and how. Honey, I'm down for anything as long as it's legal. Okay, I don't have time to be getting bailed out of jail. Honey, you sound crazy. Ooh, honey, I don't need any felonies, please. Honey, I have degrees. They'll be useless with felonies, okay? Anywho, with that all being said, let me continue because y'all clearly tried it. Oh, hold on. hold on. Regularly says, Queen, I did not know you had comedy in you. You are funny as hell. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. But hold up. Now let's talk about it because NOLAN'S grandfather has stepped out into the scene and has something to say because I don't think he's too pleased about all these things that's going on. And I don't blame him. He seems to think there's a whole lot of clout chasing going on. And I absolutely agree. And I believe that the clout chaser is none other than Brandon Tatum. if that's who he's talking about. Let's see. He doesn't mention names, but let's see who it sounds like. Do not go outside. Federal agents make another arrest as Nolan Wells' investigation takes another dark turn. Now, federal authorities have arrested a third person. We're going to skip past all that because we already know that part. Talking about killing witnesses and all of that. Let me tell you all something. Anybody that is for Nolan, it will behoove you to just stick to getting as much facts and evidence and receipts as you can and reporting on it, but making threats, nobody should be making threats. Okay, that's not going to get you anywhere, nor is it going to get us anywhere, and it's not going to help Nolan's family. Okay, now these people that are doing these things, if they actually are, I would like to think that maybe they have some sort of mental health issues. I'm just saying. Okay, so anyway, everyone, please like and share. Now, here's what they say. Wells's grandfather speaks out. So as the investigation continues, members of Wells's family have also spoken out about the public reaction to his death and the growing tension surrounding the case. Now, in a Facebook post, Wells's grandfather lamented that his grandson was denied the chance to live out the future that he envisioned for him. Nolan Xavier Wells deserved to have a life, a career, a family, and the opportunity to be great. He was robbed of that. He certainly was, and that's why we need justice for Nolan Wells. He also criticized what he described as people exploiting the tragedy for attention while fueling racial division. He says, I hate the clout chasers. Okay, the clout chasers are using what happened to Nolan to add income streams and stoke racial division in this state and the country, emphasizing that the family's focus has remained on learning what happened to Wells. My daughter and her husband, along with all of our family, want to know what happened to Nolan. He concluded the emotional message by urging people to remember his grandson for the life he could have lived, writing that, say his name, Nolan Xavier Wells. He would have been a great man. My grandson, gone too soon. Oh, this is just so sad. I really hate to think about it. He absolutely is gone too soon. Now, meanwhile, Mississippi officials have completed the state's official autopsy, but the findings have not yet been released publicly because they were first submitted to a grand jury reviewing the case. New questions also emerged this week after TMZ published portions of the United Cajun Navy's investigative report into Wells's disappearance. According to the report, a photograph taken on Horn Island shows the three boats involved in the July 4th outing anchored together were before Wells vanished. Now, the report states the Triton, the boat Wells and his friends had used, departed the island at 4:31 p.m., consistent with earlier accounts that friends urged Wells to leave with them, but said he declined. Investigators also cited a witness who reported that Wells was nowhere in sight when her group left the island around 7:30 p.m. Now, the report identifies the last independently corroborated sighting of Wells as occurring sometime between 3:23 p.m. and 4:27 p.m., a window investigators say remains central to unanswered questions about his disappearance. Okay, they have several questions, and so do I. Now, as previously reported, the fallout surrounding Wells's death has extended well beyond the investigation itself. Friends who were with the 18-year-old before he disappeared on Mississippi's Horn Island launched a Give, Send, Go fundraiser that has raised nearly $90,000, saying that they have become targets of an unprecedented online campaign of accusations, harassment, threats, and defamation since Wells's death. Now, the group says the money will help cover anticipated legal expenses, including defending against potential wrongful death litigation and pursuing defamation claims against those they believe falsely accused them online. Well, good luck with it all, but here's what I think. Here's what I think. First of all, in my humble opinion, now, we don't know if anyone did anything to Nolan. It could have been an accidental drowning, but that's not what it looks like from all the things that we've seen and heard. So it's all speculation right now. But here's the thing that I find interesting. So they're collecting money from a fundraiser just in case they get hit with a wrongful death lawsuit. Here's the funny thing about that, though. Now, though they may suspect, as I told you, you heard it here first, that Nolan's mother may, in fact, file a wrongful death lawsuit against them, if you didn't do anything, should you be worried about a wrongful death lawsuit? If you didn't do anything nefarious, If you didn't do anything negligent, if everything is what you say, that you simply went there, Nolan decided to stay and you all left because he said he was going to catch a ride with someone else, and that's all there is to it, why do you need to be collecting funds for a wrongful death lawsuit that you would likely win if you didn't do anything, if you're not negligent? Okay? If there is nothing to see here, folks. Y'all don't find that interesting? Because I sure do. Okay, Robin says they're collecting money and no one has been charged with anything. That's insane. Yes. I mean, it just seems like a whole grift. It just seems like an absolute grift as far as I'm concerned. Hold on, let me read one more comment before I get back into it. They just do what they want to us. Then seem like if they say watch what you say, then everyone starts being careful. Like, when are we ever going to get equality? I don't know, beloved. It doesn't look like it'll be anytime this month. Okay. Contingency fund, gifts and guilts. That's a good one, but let's continue. Okay, so now we've talked about the arrest, but let's go to what this person says. Mind you, this is all alleged. Okay, I'm playing these people's videos and I have no idea where they got their information from. Okay, I have no idea where they got their information from. So please don't come for me.
Now we get into the nitty gritty. And I told y'all, well, all of us told y'all that Nolan Wells did not just pass away or did not drown, et cetera, et cetera. So the argument that you guys hear circulating around in the video, it's Nolan having an argument with his so-called friends because they were trying to peer pressure him to do rugs. You heard that right. TikTok lingo, you get it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Nolan is a football student athlete who goes to college and is a football player. And he was telling them that he was not about to do no rugs. He was not about to test positive or test hot on it. And he was not about to mess up his scholarship for them. That is what their argument is about. I told y'all, see, y'all be wanting people to just accept the foolery that y'all be saying, and y'all are so innocent and y'all would never, these are his friends. That's why I don't call nobody a friend, because y'all are just such, because anyone is capable of doing anything at any time. Anyways, Ben Crump said he's going to get down to the nitty gritty, and this ain't it. See, now we get into.
Y'all heard that right? Now, mind you, I told you all that days ago that there was a young lady who was in one of those TikTok lives, and that's what she said. She claims that she was from Ocean Springs, and that's exactly what she said, but that was like weeks ago when she said that. And I don't know if it's true or not, mind you, but that is what she said. That's what the argument was about. And I just reminded you all of that again just days ago. So I don't know. I guess we will see, but hold on. Because let's go to this next clip. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Supposedly, there are even more new claims. Let's get into it.
The Nolan Xavier Wells update, and a TikToker named Faith Lauren, who claims to have been on Horn Island, said she saw an altercation between Nolan and some other people. And this is her statement. This is all allegedly. I cannot verify it, but I thought it was interesting information. Check it out. She says, I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. I am providing this statement based on what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, allegedly, who was one of the boys seen on the boat. She says this: "Hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys, and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady. You're a monster, and I promise you will have your out under the jail. Today is the 7th of July. Mark my words, you will be put away for a very long time, you nasty monster. Let's see how this goes once I submit my information." Then she says 3 days later, after the incident occurred, I reached out to him, explaining to him I saw partial of what happened and that I would go to the police, and then he blocked me. You guys think about this. Again, I can't verify this information, but I do think it is important to share. And also, she has faced claims that her TikTok profile is fake, but she explained that she has archived all of her videos because she is getting threats. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. Secret Service Sam out. Samson for president of the world. Now, then.
Hold on, beloved. Let me pull up this next clip, and then I have to answer the door really quick. Okay, sorry about that, beloveds. I had to get the door. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this next clip. Now, this is from Nancy Grace. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Along with the registration number. Usually that's sometimes only on a Coast Guard document, but sometimes on a state registration you do put the vehicle, the boat name if it's asked for, or if you have one. So that is all possible. I'm told, and we're asked to compare notes with the sheriff's office, which we're doing. But I was told that there's been a lot of people that have been contacted and interviewed, and there's a lot of people who were there that day that voluntarily came forward to tell what they know, and because they might have seen their boats and pictures, said, "Oh, we might want to go ahead and call them, let them know, where we were, who was with us, and what we know." So I commend those people for coming forward, because it's not always easy.
To Marie Pereira joining us, in addition to the Vice President of the United Cajun Navy, who has been there from the get-go trying to help solve the case. Marie Pereira, registered nurse, which is important. But she is a criminal defense attorney and domestic violence expert. She is a violence expert certified advocate. Marie, you saw that. All those people in my book are witnesses. One of them is saying at 7:30, Nolan was nowhere to be seen. Now, I want to see the video or the photo again, because you want to tell me that this guy, Nolan Wells, hit his head and drowned and none of those people saw what happened? I find that really hard to believe.
It is hard to believe, and that's why it's extremely important that the law enforcement are not too proud to get help from the public. Like you said, if people are sending in videos, they should be using those videos to conduct further investigation. I'm praying that this is a situation like Brian Koberger, where the police department, they were being ragged and being called rinky-dink police, while all the time they were investigating and putting together a case against him. I hope that because all the time they were saying, oh, what are they doing? It was I think the DA had a long, big beard, which wasn't very conducive to believing he knew what he was doing, but they knew what they were doing.
I know, it looked like Leonard Skinner sitting there. Hey, that videos from Officer Tatum's podcast, all this means witnesses to me. And do you remember in the Diddy case, there was actually a toll-free number for victims to call? There were that many victims, not that it helped at the trial, but that said, I think there needs to be a toll-free number. If you think you have evidence, dial the number. If you have photos like the United Cajun Navy is doing, they asked for the public's help. They got the public's help, and there's more to get. That's what is needed now. Every picture, every video. How often have cases been cracked when someone spots something in a picture they hadn't noticed before, or their memory is jogged by a photo or information they've seen online? I've pointed to this a million times. Brian Trasher, the Gabby Petito case. Her body would never have been found if it weren't for amateur sleuths. I believe their name is Red, Blue, and Methane. They were a couple out in the middle of nowhere in dispersed camping where there are no porta potties, no lights, no hookups, no anything. It's just you and the wild animals. I've camped and dispersed before. They're out there and they see a vehicle and they go, that's Gabby's Ford Transit. And they call authorities who would never have gone to this dispersed camping area, and they find her remains. That's how the case was cracked. Who knows what photo, what tip United Cajun Navy or law enforcement or the Nolan Wells team might get that might crack this case wide open. So that said, Brian, how did you create this timeline? I find it very interesting.
So first of all, going back to your comment about internet sleuths, a lot of people consider themselves internet sleuths, but some people really are good. And there's one young lady who's helped us out on many cases, who was very helpful in this case. I haven't asked her permission yet if I could say her name, but if she gives me permission and I come back on, I'll be happy to give her credit for all the help she gave us. But basically what we did was we took these pictures, we juxtaposed them to, like Google Earth and satellite pictures of the registered,
Okay, so you all heard it. You all heard it. Now, with that being said, here's the thing that I find interesting. This person that claims to be a witness to Nolan being involved in this altercation, my question is, why would she just now decide to come out and say something when we've been trying to gather information? The police, I hope they've been trying to gather information. Ben Crump's been trying to gather information all of this time. Okay, it's a month in now. Okay, yesterday was a month. So with that all being said, why would she wait all this time to come forward with this information? Okay, if it's even true, which is what makes me have questions. Okay, because you saw the altercation, you saw people, trying to figure out who was yelling, who was saying this and that, and all of these different things, but yet you said nothing. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, I'm inclined to not believe it. I'm calling cap on that, because if you really were trying to help, you would have come forward with that information, and also you would have some proof and receipts. Because if I saw something like that going on, I would have had my camera out recording it. Okay, a lot of people are trying to muddy the waters, and this is all. Let me just tell you all something too. What you need to remember, beloveds, is that I already told you all weeks ago that they're trying to establish reasonable doubt, not just the people that are being looked at, but people that are working for them. And not that they hired these people, but I'm talking about the people online. You see, just as well as we're working at the behest of Nolan and his family to help them hopefully get justice, we're all doing the best that we can. But there are also a group of people that are working to make sure that doesn't happen. They're working for the other team. And those people, they are trying to establish reasonable doubt. So they'll be sending things and saying, oh, this person saw Nolan. This This person saw an altercation. This person says this. That person says that. And now you create a cesspool of confusion with different and varying stories coming from a myriad of different people. Okay, none of them being substantiated, some of them not bringing proof or receipts. And at the end of the day, this will cause reasonable doubt, because here's what's going on right now. You see, the people that will be chosen from the jury pool are regular everyday people just like the rest of us, and they're sitting here watching all of this go down in real time on social media even as we speak. Okay, so that being said, this is right now the court of public opinion, and we know how that goes, because the public opinion, okay, the court of public opinion can always be swayed. Okay, you find out something today that you didn't know yesterday, and then tomorrow your whole idea or theory could change. Okay, so this is all given reasonable doubt, because first of all, another thing is the fact that there is too many lies have been told, in my opinion. Okay, now we caught Warren in a few lies when he was on that podcast. Okay, there was lies that proved to be shown in the police report. The police report exposed the lies. Okay, the Coast Guard report that exposed the lies. Okay, the investigative report exposed the lies. There were pictures that were screenshots from someone's phone. Okay, now we know, and I told you all this, and Secret Service Sam showed you how it can be done, where you can change the metadata. Okay, so most of this stuff, we don't know it for facts. These are just theories and things that we absolutely think. But hold on. Not only have there been many lies told, there has also been conflicting stories. Okay, and right now, if you ask me, Warren's head is on the chopping block. Okay, I mean, at the end of the day, because people are more so looking at him because of the things that he said that just don't add up, and how he's changed his story, you know, and then like I said, the whole thing of the police report where they're talking about Nolan left with an unknown person, but then later comes to find out it was Katie. Okay, I just have several questions. Now, but let's get back into it, because also pay attention. People can just be throwing out red herrings, okay? Trying to keep us all confused. And that's my whole point. So now let's go to this next clip, because this young lady seems to think that we're giving entirely too much credit to Nancy Grace. Okay, this is what this lady says. She says Nancy Grace is not doing anything but taking what everybody else is finding, basically, and then using it and then getting it checked or whatever to see what she can prove. Something like that. But just listen.
I'm not gonna take it over a lie, but let's talk about Nolan Wells and Nancy Grace. Now, Nancy Grace been around for a very long time, and now she done came out of retirement. But see, here's the difference: we giving Nancy Grace everything in her hand. Oh, y'all didn't realize that? Now, see, back in the day when she was doing some of her other criminal investigations, she had to dig and probe. This time around, ain't got too much digging to do, ain't got too much probing, because all she got to do is send her motherfucking millions to watch social media. And all Nancy really is doing is questioning the people who already put information out. And all she doing is going back and make sure she could solidify the information that she has got. Now, see, y'all got to be smarter, okay? I stop giving people more credit than they supposed to have. Now, Nancy a bad mama jam. That's a bad bitch. I say what I said. That's a bad girl. But I need y'all to understand. We the people making her fucking job easy. We the people letting her be able to use some of y'all, because y'all go over there. I know I'm not going to make it on there because my mouth potty and it's cool and I ain't dealing with some shit. I'm fine with that. But one thing I do know, I sit back and I watch. Y'all haven't saw Nancy really comment on nothing that we haven't commented on first. With that being said, I ain't going to tell you no lie. Goodbye.
Okay, that lady is hilarious to me, and she talks so funny. I mean, not funny, she talks so fast. That's what I mean. She talks so fast, and I love her accent, but she cracks me up. So, you know, I absolutely agree with her to a degree. Now, Nancy has brought out the pathologist and all of that stuff or whatever, but yes, much of what she has gotten, I'm quite sure she's gotten it from people online, okay? Now, with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, let's go to this next clip. Let's go to this next clip. Okay, here we go. Nancy's not playing games, but I don't trust her either, says Edward. I don't either. I just think she's a Karen, okay? I just think she's a Karen.
It's been another arrested for, guess what? Threatening 2 witnesses. Now, in the report that I found, it didn't name the witnesses. My question, how did that man find out about those witnesses? I'm also still searching for the picture of this man. This man's name is Edward James Porter of Illinois. This is from the Sun Herald. An Illinois man is the latest person to face a federal charge of threatening to injure and kill witnesses and their families in connection with the investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. Xavier.
Okay, I'm gonna stop her video. We already covered that part, but she's making sense because that's exactly what I think. Okay, why aren't we being told who this person is? Okay, please pay attention. I have several questions. Now, did you all remember hearing anything about them calling the police on Nolan's dad? Put a 1 in the chat because I didn't remember Nolan's father saying that. Now, maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed it, but do you all remember when Nolan's father said he went to go get the keys? And he said that they stepped outside because, people were getting like antsy. I'm paraphrasing. But do you all remember him saying anything about them calling the police on him? Once in the chat, because I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I must have clearly missed it. Some of you all are saying yes. How did I miss that? Okay, well, I definitely didn't hear that. He said they called the police on him. I mean, the nerve. So these people clearly could not have been Nolan's friends if that's the case. It is on the police dispatch audio. Wait a second. You mean to tell me that audio that I played this morning, that's where that came from? Because I'm like, where is this audio coming from? Was it on somebody's scanner or whatever? That's where that came from? Okay, so they clearly called the police on this man. That is all so crazy. Nancy got the Queen's statement about not blaming Crump about refusing the cadaver dogs on a boat that he didn't own. Okay, this is all crazy. So let's go to this next clip. Like, so everyone, please like and share.
When Nolan's father did his first conference interview with the media, and he was telling us and describing how he went over to those thugs' house to get Nolan's phone and his keys. And I told y'all how he described how when he got there, they was rah, and they didn't want to give the phone up or the keys. And so he had to basically calm them down to at least have a respectful conversation. And then they finally did give him the keys and his cell phone. And immediately upon giving him that, they closed the door and called the police on him. Do y'all remember that? If you're new here, you probably don't, but yes. So listen.
Negative, we're in route to the judge's house now. Negative, we're in route to the judge's house now. You said y'all are in route to the judge's house or from the judge's house?
I believe that this is that actual call when they were called to go to that house, because the time on there obviously is July the 4th, and it is from 11:26 to 11:56, I believe it. So they spent roughly around 30 minutes over there. And y'all swoop, oh God, oh, she lying. They didn't call. But okay. Anyways, y'all remember when Nolan.
Hold on. Try to read some of these comments. What is wrong with them? Oh, honey, who knows? I remember Nolan's father stating that. Okay, yeah, I absolutely missed that one. Okay, I absolutely did. Now, Myron, thank you for your contribution to the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. I absolutely don't remember hearing that. I know he said they had to step outside or whatever, and people were getting antsy, basically. But now Trayston has entered the chat because someone has a picture that they snapped, and they're saying that it's Trayston. Now, I don't know if it's Trayston or not, but it does look like him. Please pay attention.
In the case of 18-year-old Nolan Wells, I guess Tracy Shepard was on one of them both of the photos that I showed. Let me show y'all, but I didn't think this was Tracy Shepard. This is a better photo. I don't know how somebody got this better image right here, but they put it in my comment section. And sure as shit, that looked like it's Tracy Shepard to me. I stand corrected, everybody. So in other videos, I said that I did not see Tracy Shepard on the videos, as well as I said that I believe this was to be Elijah Johnson and or Bryson Smith. Bryson Smith, I also added that his mom stated that he was in Florida. This is not Elijah Johnson and or Bryson Smith. This is Tracy Shepard, everybody. This looks like this would be Tracy Shepard right here. Somebody also noticed those gold chains right there, and then also commented a photo with Tracy Shepard with those chains on a different occasion than the 4th of July. So I stand corrected. Tracy Shepard was on one of them boats, everybody. And also, I want to shout out to Nancy Grace. I know that some people don't like Nancy Grace, and that's fine. Sometimes we're going to disagree with people. I disagree with Nancy Grace at times too. But just because we disagree with somebody at times does not mean that we got to turn around and dislike them. We're going to disagree with everybody in the world at one point in time in life. And you're going to turn your backs on everybody that you disagree with? No, because if you do that, then you'll be one lonely motherfucker. Excuse my language, but that's just what it'll be. Nonetheless, I want to say shout out to her for having her producer go through the extent of also enhancing the audio from the CETO call, and then also releasing that out to the public at the same time. So, and it's crazy that she felt like she needed to do that just so some people would still choose to believe that Janetta Brantley didn't do anything foul with that CETO audio. And it shouldn't have took for Nancy Grace to feel like her producer needed to enhance the audio and make sure there was no AI or anything like that in order for people to want to change their opinions on Janetta Brantley. See, Janetta Brantley, she already had her titles and names behind her. She already put out her credentials and stuff like that and everything. So people didn't really have a logical reason to doubt her. I understand that some people were saying some bad things on her character, but just because some people running around saying bad things about people doesn't make it true. Also, even if somebody made a bad decision in their past, it doesn't mean that they're making a bad decision now. So nobody really had the right to go after Janetta Brantley the way that they did and be disrespectful and rude to her, simply for enhancing the audio and putting it out there for the public to be able to hear the enhancement of the audio. There's also that guy, Robert Callahan, that also said he only ordered noise canceling headphones and listened to the original release audio with the noise canceling headphones, and he still heard the same things in those headphones as what he claimed that was in Janetta Brantley's enhanced audio. And after Nancy Grace did the enhanced audio, or had her producer do the enhanced audio, it still seems like it was said to be the same things that was said and stated in there. I understand that some people saying, well, when you're reading captions, you're hearing what you're reading. No, that's not accurate at all. I could put different captions on this video of what I'm saying right now, and you're not going to hear those words that I'm writing on that caption right there. Simply because you see some captions right there does not mean that you're going to hear that in your head. Not only that, not everybody stops and take the time to even read any captions when they on videos. I know many a times I barely read those captions on any videos or anything like that. A lot of times when I want my ears to be able to hear what's being said, I close my eyes and I press my hands to my ears, so therefore I can hear it better with my headphones. So the first time me hearing that enhanced audio, shoot, I got ready to hear that enhanced audio. When I sat up, I closed my eyes and put my hands to my ear, and I put my other earbud in, because as y'all see, I got one in right now when I'm recording, but I put two in to hear it, and I was getting prepared for it because I knew I was going to hear a recording. So therefore, I prepared to hear something, not to read anything. I understand that that may be how you feel about the situation, and you're okay to feel about the situation how you want to feel about the situation. That's your opinion. The problem comes in when you try to interfere with somebody else's opinion and or how somebody else feels about a situation. Each and every last one of us have our right to our feelings, our emotions, our opinions, our perceptions on things. So just because you have yours does not mean that it's correct. It just means that it's yours. Just because there's other people that share yours with you doesn't mean that it's correct. It just means that you got other people that share yours with you. Just because other people share mine with me doesn't mean that I'm correct. It just means that other people.
Yeah, I think we get the point. And he's absolutely right. Because sometimes people get to arguing over contrary opinions, and at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to theirs. Now, with that all being said, I just looked up something. Okay, I just looked up because you all said that Nolan's father said they called the cops on him, and I know I never heard that. Okay, I said, and I've listened to that press conference. We watched it on my live, and then I played clips of it later. So I have never heard that man say that. So I looked it up. Here's what it says. Here is what it says. It says that based on what has been reported publicly, there is no verified statement from Nolan's father saying that police were called on him while he was retrieving Nolan's keys. What has, however, been publicly reported is that Elmore Wansley said he went to retrieve Nolan's keys from a friend's house and encountered resistance. He said the people at the house initially claimed they didn't know where the keys were until someone on the phone told them the keys were left on top of an Xbox. He described the situation as tense, said that he felt he was being lied to. And after he got the keys, the people inside locked the house and did not want to interact with him further. That's what I remember. That's what I remember. Okay. Now, there has been discussion online claiming that police were called and that Nolan's father was left outside until officers arrived. But I have not found that claim in mainstream reporting or in the publicly reported excerpts from the family's press conference. Okay. It appears to stem from social media and Reddit discussions rather than verified news reporting. So that's where you all had to have heard it. Okay, that's where you all had to have heard that. And we have to be careful because someone talking about stuff on social media, even us included, does not equate to facts all the time. Sometimes we may have facts, but sometimes, like I told you, we have our opinions, our views, and we have our theories, and they can change from one day to the next. Remember how we were all looking at Warren, then we were all looking at Bart, and now we're all looking at them both. Okay? So RG Titan said, I don't recall Nolan's dad saying that either. So anyway, with that all being said, I find it all interesting. Now, let's continue. So now that we cleared that up, so that was nothing more than social media chatter. Okay. Now, what I want to do now is I want to go to this video that I did July the 18th. I need to pick a few things out of here because I want to tell you all who's really running Ocean Springs. I already told you, and I'm going to tell you again. Y'all know I had the whistleblower on here the other day, and the whistleblower agreed that it's a whole lot of Klan stuff going on down there. Okay, a whole lot of dissent and all of that. Let's get into it. Now, this is from July the 18th, Mississippi's clandestine operation. Now, I did reference this last night, I do believe, with a couple of clips, but we're going to go to some different clips today. Please pay attention. Give me just a second to get to the timestamps. Include heart attack. Here we go, right here. Rug overdose, shock, burns, and massive bleeding. Okay, right here it says subspecialties, medical toxicology. Okay, medical toxicology, and I find that all interesting. Another thing that someone put in the comments, I want to say it was yesterday. No, hold on. Right there, that was where I was telling you all about Warren's father. Okay, he deals in toxicology, and I have several questions as to whether or not he'll be involved or was involved in Nolan's toxicology. They said something about, and I hadn't thought about this, but they said that another reason they may have been waiting so long, stalling the investigation or whatnot, is to make sure that those boys had anything that was in their system out. Okay, in case they're requested to do a toxicology report. So I said that's interesting because I didn't even think about that. Okay, so let's get into these receipts. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
You don't know what an AI work management platform
Because I want you all to pay attention. Oh, I had muted myself, beloved. Thank you, Lieutenant Maxwell. Okay, so listen, I want you all to hear. For those of you who missed this broadcast, okay, this was July the 18th, but I want you, and now everyone's talking about the Klan, okay? But here's the thing, I want you all to pay attention because I told you all what the Klansmen said, but I also told you all what this acronym meant, and that's not what it meant. Okay, now I have to clarify that. Let's get into. Want to know? Oh, okay. You don't. Let me go back. They're coming for their political heads. The NWO, y'all know what NWO stands for. I'm not going to say it because YouTube puts a thing on your channel when you do. The first word is new, and the last one is when you order something from McDonald's, okay? Now, the NWO plan to take away our Second Amendment so they can put the final nail in America's coffin. It's being started. We will never give up our guns, as history shows us. GENOcide soon follows, okay? I just spelled that out because I don't want to say it. These sheep who are marching do not understand the consequences of their actions. Their actions will lead to revolution, and our rivers will flow with the blood of tyrants, puppets, and fools, as white Mississippians have never bowed down to those who seek to destroy us. And by God, we're not starting now. Honey, they were clearly pressed. Okay, they were serious about that flag. And then some people want to tell us it isn't a symbol of racism and hatred. Of course it is. We will fight to the bitter end. And if anyone doubts that the real Ku Klux Klan are not fighters, they better examine our history. Don't let these imposters, the false, then they talk about, how do I want to say this? Yahoos, Satan Yahoos people, calling them false on TV, fool you, saying don't let them imposters fool you. We are alive and well and are larger than we have been in years. Do y'all? Now, that was the Dixie White Knights of the KKK, okay? And that's what they're saying, that they're larger. They're still here. They said they're larger than they've been in years, okay? And that's the ones down there in Ocean Springs, okay? And I told you all this weeks ago, okay? Please pay attention. Y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? They said they are alive and well and larger than they have been in years, okay? Please pay attention. We have learned from past mistakes and have learned the way our enemies operate. See, I told you all these people study us, so you had better study them. All right, please pay attention. And they've learned from their mistakes. So that means they're going to be a whole lot less likely to get caught. It's basically what they're saying when they carry out these lynchings and whatnot, all these other nefarious things. Okay, so anyway, they go on to say, we have learned from the past mistakes and have learned the way our enemies operate. We work silently now as we were intended to be. We are working behind the scenes on many political fronts and have eyes and ears everywhere. Yeah, they're in politics, specifically in Mississippi, because I read that too. Now, the MRC is a wealth of info, and we're easily infiltrated. We see clearly who are pulling these degenerate strings. I strongly warn our politicians not to bow down to outside political powers and the NWO agenda, especially in regards to our Second Amendment. As if they do, we are coming for their political heads. A war is on for our very way of life and possibly the soil under our feet. It will be stained red with blood before we ever surrender or retreat. Do y'all hear that? I mean, he threw bars at the end. Okay, did y'all hear that? This is absolutely nefarious. Okay, please pay attention. Like some, everyone, please like and share. Okay, I find it all so nefarious. So yeah, and then they signed their name, or this isn't their name, but well, it says Imperial Wizard Waller. I guess that's who said it, who sent it. But let me look up this thing they have on here. It says non-syllable said Anthar. I don't know what that means, but I'm about to look it up. And UDWK. Honey, these people are something else, but they want us to think there's no racism in America. Get the F out of here. Okay, please make it all make sense. So this basically is a pseudo-Latin and Gothic phrase, non-syllable sed anthar. It is a slogan used by the Ku Klux Klan. It is intended to translate to not self, but others. It was widely utilized by the group, particularly in the 1920s, and appears on various historical membership materials and medallions. So that's something that they put on their medallions. Okay, now let me see what this UDWK stands for. Fit of the power to throw. Want to know. Oh, yeah. And then they signed their name, or this isn't their name, but well, it says Imperial Wizard Waller. I guess that's who said it, who sent it. But let me look up this thing they have on here. It says non-syllable said Anthar. I don't know what that means, but I'm about to look it up. And UDWK. Honey, these DWK stands for. Let me see here. Okay, it says it's a recognized historical Klan acronym or abbreviation. In internet slang, it means you don't want to know. Oh, okay. You don't want to know. That's what that stands for. Y'all remember that episode of Sanford and Son where that guy was breaking into Julio's house? And then Fred said, who is that in there? And the man said, you don't know and you don't want to know. That's what it's given. Okay, please pay attention. These people are absolutely devilish. Okay, now let's talk about Klan. Now, let me just correct myself, because that is what it means in internet slang, but that is not what it means in reference to the Klan. And reference to the Triple K, it actually means the United Dixie White Knights. Okay? That's what that stands for. So that makes more sense. Okay? Because I was like, what? Why would they put that at the end of the letter after the guy signed it? But the Grand Wizard signed the letter. Okay? They admitted to sending that burning cross to those organizations. Mississippi Rising, I believe that was the organization, and the other one was the NAACP in Mississippi. And so first they lied about it, and then, like I told you, they admitted that they sent the video, and it was to intimidate them because they were upset about them complaining about the flag, removing the Confederate emblem from the flag, which initially was done by Governor Tate Reeves. And I told you all then that I think he likely did it because he wanted to win the election, that he probably promised them that in order for him to get votes, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, I told you that it stands for you don't want to know. That is what it means in internet slang, but for the Klan, it means United Dixie White Knights. And that's who they are, the biggest organization of Klansmen, okay? And they're down there in Ocean Springs. Klan politics in Mississippi. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. The KKK resurfaces, this time with political intentions. Okay, this is from 2018 as well. The Ku Klux Klan is getting back into Mississippi electoral politics. Last week, the United Dixie White Knights, a South Mississippi-based chapter of the KKK, allegedly sent a video of a burning cross to the leader of the Mississippi Rising Coalition, a Gulf Coast-based group working to change the state flag, which is the last in the nation containing the Confederate emblem. Following the backlash, which included national media attention, the group denied sending the video and posted a statement disparaging the coalition and criticizing reporters who covered the. Okay, so since I just told you all that I said that already, I'm going to skip past that. Okay. Thank you, Wayne, for becoming a YouTube member, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so I'm going to skip past that and go to the next timestamp, which is at the 54-minute mark when Governor Tate Reeves has that Heritage Month with his nefarious self. Confederate Heritage Month. But there's no racism in Mississippi, according to the alleged friend of the family. That man was sitting up there capping so hard this morning when I went live. If y'all missed it, please tune in and watch it later at your convenience. And face paint. Okay, let's just call it what it is, blackface. Now, the state's lone statewide Democrat talked more about racist photographs that surfaced last week from his college fraternity when Hood was a member in the early 1980s. Okay, in the photo, members of Pi Kappa Alpha are wearing face paint and dressed like indigenous tribesmen. The controversy follows the emergence of similar photos from the fraternity to which Republican Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves belonged at Millsaps, and the revelation of Democratic Virginia Governor Ralph Northam's medical school yearbook page, which features a man in blackface and another in full Klan regalia. Do y'all hear this? All of these people down there, I find it very interesting. These politicians, okay, down there, the law enforcement down there, these people are not to be trusted. Now, a spokeswoman for Reeves, the GOP frontrunner for governor, and now he is the governor, issued a short statement acknowledging that Reeves was a member of Kappa Alpha Order, which holds an Old South costume formal honoring Confederate culture. Reeves in his office has not elaborated further on the issue. As of press time on Monday, the Senate, where Reeves presides, was still in session, said we will update this story after adjournment if Reeves speaks to the press. So I find this interesting because that man, this was all found out before he became the governor. And he still became the governor. Isn't that something? That should tell us everything we need to know right there. This was all exposed before he was even the governor. And he still got the position. Wow. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, the reason for me playing clips from this video that I did July the 18th is because the guy that I played this morning, the guy who claimed that he was a friend of Nolan's family and said that he gave Nolan his first haircut, that guy was sitting up there saying, oh, it's nice down here, it's peaceful. You know, basically saying there's no racism and there's nothing going on and that we're just doing too much and that the white men date the black women and the black men date the white women and they have, you know, mixed children and all of that. And then basically, you know, scolding us, saying unless we live there, we really don't know what's going on. Okay, he was given the same energy as Trayston. Okay, that's what it was. But I'm playing all of this to let you all know that he was absolutely all cap. Because if it's so peaceful down there and so quaint as he wants us to think, and there's nothing to see here, folks, why do they have a whole entire clandestine operation going on? Okay. Yes, absolutely. Because we already know that when there are Klansmen, and specifically in a small town, many of the people that are public officials are involved in it. We know that throughout history. Now, I'm not saying that all the public officials down there in Ocean Springs are involved in the Klan, specifically the United Dixie White Knights, but I absolutely believe they are. Okay? I absolutely believe they are. And I believe that Governor Tate Reeves just might be one of them too. Seeing as how he didn't have a problem wearing blackface and also having a Confederate Heritage Month. And then also, let's not forget in 2013, when he went to that Sons of Confederate, I believe was the name of it, he went there and gave that speech with a big, huge Confederate flag right behind him. Okay, so I'm sorry. I absolutely believe that he and Ledbetter are involved in it, the DA, as well as the medical examiner and a host of other people. Now, mind you, this is just pure speculation, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. I don't know any of this to be true. Okay, please pay attention. Now, let's continue. And also, Wayne just gifted a membership to the Queen's channel. Thank you, beloved, for your generosity. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, let's give Wayne a shout out in the chat, specifically whomever is privy to that membership. Now, with that being said, hold on. He also spoke at some Confederate thing and then tried to gaslight by bringing up that a black man was also there. Okay, isn't that what they often do? Governor Tate Reeves faces criticism over tradition of proclaiming Confederate Heritage Month.
This is how perimenopause
Hold on just a second. Okay, here it is. These people are something else. This is it right here, okay? Confederate Heritage Month. Honey, they're serious about their hatred. They are so serious about it. So anyway, this is Governor Tate's doings. Okay, he faces criticism over a tradition of proclaiming Confederate Heritage Month. Now, this was done April the 6th of 2023. Governor Tate Reeves, who 2 years ago signed a bill to change the state flag to a design without the Confederate battle emblem, once again proclaimed April as Confederate Heritage Month in Mississippi. Now, I wonder if he signed that bill to change the flag just to get votes. I wonder if that was a promise he made when he was running. Now, I was trying to get to the timestamp from where they threatened to burn down this Black person's home. Okay, but the guy this morning said nothing to see here, folks. What's his name? Cutting with E, I think it's his name. Yeah, he said nothing to see here, but they were talking about burning down this lady's home. So the property values would go down. And the people ended up filing a lawsuit. Let's go to it. Okay, this was 6 months ago, reported by the Institute of Justice. Okay, just 6 months ago. I'm going to use an overlay because I don't have permission to use this video.
My name is Dana Berliner, and I am the litigation director at the Institute for Justice. Today, the Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church and many homeowners and a business owner in Ocean Springs all appeared before the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals to argue that the city of Ocean Springs violated their constitutional right to due process when the city designated their neighborhood as a slum. It failed to tell them about it, and in particular, it failed to tell them about their 10-day period to challenge that designation.
Members on the Historical Preservation Committee could be heard making inappropriate comments after a meeting.
The comment.
Now listen to this. They were heard making inappropriate comments after a meeting. And this is right down there in Ocean Springs. Okay, see that back there? There's the Ocean Springs logo. Okay, so let's get into it.
Comments followed after a resident requested to preserve Black-owned homes in the downtown area. Stephanie Poole explains.
How would you like for someone to say that your family home, 5 generations old, people who have grown up there, who've lived there and are still living there, that your family home needs to be burned down?
Those are the comments heard from a member and city employee on the Historical Preservation Committee in Ocean Springs. Members of We Shall Not Be Moved say Carlos Barbosa made the remarks in a now deleted Facebook video. During a meeting on September 14th, a resident proposed to expand the historic downtown.
Now, like I said, I'm showing you all this, reminding you of this, so that you know that what the guy said is absolute BS. Okay, he's acting like there's nothing going on down there. Well, why are they threatening to burn down this lady's home? Okay, why are they doing all these other things and people having to file lawsuits? Okay, this is all going on down there in Ocean Springs. Please pay attention. And now, with that all being said, I think I can pretty much wrap this up. I think that's the last of it that I needed. Now, I did want to show you all the part about that burning cross, but I don't feel like scrolling to find that. I do have the article, however, and I'll just go to it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, this was reported by WLOX. Okay, so here's what it says. Ocean Springs, Mississippi. The mayor of Ocean Springs has responded after the KKK sent a video to a Gulf Coast civil rights group this week. Okay, in a statement released Thursday morning, Mayor Shay Dodson said the KKK is a bunch of racist, coward terrorists. Their actions should be rebuked by everyone, regardless of party affiliation or political beliefs. Now, that all been said, this came out in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, March 29th of 2018. Okay, so honey, I'm sorry. What is that man even talking about? 2018 was just not even that long ago. He needs to sit down somewhere, coming out here with all those lies and BS, talking about nothing to see here, folks. Okay, that's what so many people want us to think, that there's literally nothing to see here. But there's plenty to see here at the end of the day. Okay, the math isn't mathing, and the truth is not being told in many cases. So with that all being said, we're about to be out of here. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, and here's my thing. This whole shade thing going on. Hold on. Hold on, beloved. These pop-ups. Okay, I'm trying to see where this noise is coming from. Hold on. Okay, here it is. These pop-ups are so aggravating. Now, with that all being said, so like I told you all, it's really crazy that, Nolan's mother and her husband just had to bury their son. They had to bury their beloved son, and they still don't have answers as to what happened to him. A whole lot of questions, more questions than answers. Imagine their frustration. And on top of all of that, now they have launched an investigative probe into her because of a complaint to the medical board or the nursing board. Okay, these people are doing anything they can to flip the narrative. And it's so interesting because I've told you all this 1,000 times, how they turn the Black victims into the villains. That's what they always do. It never fails. And none of us should be surprised at all. Okay, none of us should be surprised. Now, according to Crump, Wansley has spent her entire career for patients in Mississippi without a single prior complaint to the Board of Nursing. After Nolan's body was found, she took a leave of absence to bury her child and search for answers. It was only after she began asking questions about her son's death that the anonymous complaint was filed, according to Crump. Now, this is a warning shot at a grieving mother, he says, okay, meant to pressure and scare her into staying quiet. Now, it is a distraction, it is intimidation, and we will not let it stand. Christine had part of her identity stolen from her the day Nolan died. Now, someone is trying to take another piece of it. This cruelty has no bounds. Okay, it knows no bounds, and I absolutely agree. Crump emphasized that targeting Wansley's nursing license does nothing to answer the primary question of how her son died. He says attacking a grieving mother's career does not answer the question of what happened to Nolan. It tells us the question matters, and the answer is scaring somebody. Absolutely. They are clearly pressed. So we will keep asking questions and demanding the facts until Christine knows how her son died. Now, Wansley is now forced to defend her professional record while continuing to grieve her son and seek answers surrounding his death. Listen, it sounds to me like they're trying to distract Miss Wansley. It sounds to me like this is a whole ploy to distract her from what she's doing. She's trying to keep focused on getting the truth for her son and justice for him, just like Mamie Tills Mobley, like I told you all. Okay, and with that being said, it just seems to me that now here they come out of the woodwork with BS claims. They know it's BS. Okay, why do they need to investigate anything? They know it's all BS. All they have to do is look at the timing of it all, when the complaint was actually filed. She's never had complaints before. She's been very good at her job. And also, I was told that, and I can't substantiate this, or I haven't substantiated it yet, but I was told that Warren's father, Dr. Benjamin Hudson, okay, that he worked at the same hospital as Nolan's mother. Now, if that's true, I find it very interesting. Okay, I find it very interesting. And at the end of the day, this is just a load of BS, because they absolutely know that these people are lying on this woman. They've been lying on her for weeks. They've been leaving bad reviews. And I told you all the first time we heard about it, I said there's no way they can be honest about that, because she has not even been to work since Nolan died. Okay, this is absolutely egregious. But this is what devils do. Okay, and we should not be surprised one bit because we already know how the devil operates, mixing lies with the truth to confuse people. Okay, that's what happens. So anyway, that all being said, they basically launched the investigation or the probe because they claimed there was professional misconduct against Ms. Wells Wansley. An anonymous complaint. If somebody wants to complain, stand on it. Don't remain anonymous. Okay? Say your name. Tell us who you are. But see, they don't want to tell us who they are because they know they're lying. Okay? They made it all up. That's what they did. They made it all up. Hold on. What happened to the chat? Okay, there we go. That's exactly what they did. They're just telling a whole bunch of lies, and I don't believe any of it. Okay? I mean, it's not true.
None of it's true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lie.
Okay, that's what I think. That's exactly what I think. And it's pure, unadulterated hate. And for what? Because this woman should not be allowed to try to find out what happened to her son. She should not be allowed to ask questions. She shouldn't be able to hire an attorney to help her bring light to the situation. Like, this is absolutely sad and pathetic at the end of the day. And here's the thing. I absolutely believe a whole bunch of this is going on, like I said, because the Klan is down there, and I believe so many of those people are involved in it. I believe that it's so the well, no pun intended, but the well runs deep. Okay? That's what I think. And so with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast, beloved. So I want to thank you all for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. All right? Please like, share, subscribe, and all of that. And yeah, I'm going to be out of here. I was trying to see if there's anything I forgot to show you all, making sure I use all of my receipts. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. All right, so I will be back in the morning with your morning wake-up call, so please stay tuned. And so until then, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Oh yeah, I'm on your ass, I just got to know. What up with that audio? We not gonna stop. No, no, we won't go. I'm hugging your parents in spirit. Yeah. We on this case and we demand answers. Oh, they expose. The real queen of receipts. Dropping, 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 dropping. Oh, and we got your back. Somebody gonna talk. Hell yeah, the ancestors walking. I'm so serious. Queen on the case. Oh, they asking full-blown panic now. They trying to shut us down, close our mouth. But I just won't. Damn that. Well, we not gonna stop. No, no. I'm hugging your parents in spirit. Yeah. We on this case and we demand answers. Oh, they expose. What happened to you? We tired. You don't get the all my kids ain't cover it up. I said, show yourself. Yeah, steady talking about they was his friends. I said, show up and talk if that's the case. Hold on, Nolan, it's coming to the light. You're the queen on the case. Hold on, Nolan, we won't give up. Rest in his peace. We all love you. No, 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 no. Nolan, 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 Nolan. Well, we not gonna stop. No, 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 no. We won't go. I'm hugging your parents in spirit. We on this case. Oh, they expose the real queen of receipts. Drop it, drop it.